please. Kiss me.
Greetings and salutations. This is Cage's Kiss, the ultimate Cage cast, where we discuss each of the National Treasure's cinematic masterpieces and his life. We also try to glean whatever kernels of wisdom we can from his character that week. My name is Linda Castro, but this week you can call me the Government Cheese.
And I'm Donnie, and this week you can call me Big Little, because why not?
Well, I'm still Adrian, and I hate the taste of metal in my mouth. Yeah. Movie references.
Today we're discussing the first film in David Caruso's long-lived blockbuster cinematic career.
Wait a minute, Linda. Are you
Are
talking
we in another
bad
Sunshine Trilogy?
about David Caruso? It's hard what he does up there.
Caruso cast.
How can I make you see what that's like and make sure that you remember?
By playing overly dramatic, shitty music?
Oh, Donnie, I'm glad you mentioned that because this week's over-dramatically shitty music was by Trevor Jones. Oh, what's that, Linda? Wanted to tell the audience about the movie?
Who cares about the movie? Let's do the music.
Anyway, he of course did leave his dead-end television job for this movie.
What? He was good on NYPD Blue. It's called Kiss
Dead
of
in
Death.
Career, I tell you. Yes, Kiss of Death, which is based on the film of the same name in 1947.
1947.
And I'm about to get crunk, and Donnie's already high on painkillers, so let's dance.
Yeah.
I can't feel my face.
Which of us wants to break down this stirring plot?
You do.
All right, I do. Okay, so this is about a small time criminal who gets pulled back into the life, even though he's got a wife named Helen Hunt and a baby. Except, his cousin Michael Rapaport comes over and says, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. You got to drive these hot cars to this ship. And we only got 90 minutes. After a little quibbling and be like, I don't wanna, David Caruso up and does it. While they're dramatically driving their car carriers full of hot cars through New York to overly dramatic music,
We're gonna look like a circus on the road.
Yeah, then they get pulled over by the cops, and Samuel L. Jackson, the cops, like, can I see your manifest? And David Caruso's like, what do you say in these situations? Do you say hi or hello, Ossifer, or tee-hee, was I going that fast? What do I do? But there's a drunk guy in the semi-truck with David Caruso, who David Caruso insisted on leaving there, even though Nicolas Cage hurled him out on his face.
Where's my $2?
And drunk guy just whips out a pistol to shoot Samuel L. Jackson, because Samuel L. Jackson flashed his bag. And for some reason, David Caruso doesn't know how to stop guns, so he just puts his whole hand over the muzzle, gets shot through the hand, and the bullet still goes into Samuel L. Jackson's face.
He thought he was Neo.
And then David Caruso and Samuel L. Jackson are both lying on the ground, squirting blood, crying. Meanwhile, the other four cops put like 100 bullets into the drunk guy.
Yeah.
Then they're a little unsympathetic towards him because, like, that drunk guy was your partner. Your partner tried to kill my partner. I'm going to put my finger in the hole in your hand and I'm going to kick you. And then Stanley Tucci, the district attorney, is like, I want names and I want them right now. And David Caruso's like, I am a criminal. I don't squeal. Do you read me?
Are you a man of honor?
Are you a man of honor? I will kill you.
Jesus.
So the Caruso there, decides he's just going to do the time. And, while he's in jail, Helen Hunt gets a little bit date raped and then gets crushed under a truck. Yeah, a little bit. And then, David Caruso is like, wait a minute, my cousin Michael Rapaport is responsible for my wife's date rape and death. I am going to squeal and get him killed a little bit by Nicolas Cage as Little Junior Brown.
And we also find out that
your yard.
Yeah. It's an oldie but goodie.
he screwed her over in a couple other ways too. He was supposed to be paying her $400 a week and was only giving her $150 and making her work for more money. Yeah, because
he's kind of a scumbag.
Yeah.
And then, but then he also screws her over with roofies and his penis.
Yeah. Which was kind of weird. It's like that was either the nicest rapist where he just put her clothes back on, or he's just I'm just going to undo your pants and go take a shower.
That's how, it's kind of weird though. It's like he went through all the trouble of kind of half-assedly putting her pants back on. Then why did he come out of the shower and be like, "Hey, more sex? Huh? Yeah. We had fun, right?" And she's like, "What? You put
maybe he just didn't understand how it worked."
Yeah, I think it might have been explained to him a little wrong or something, or he wasn't quite paying attention.
Maybe
I literally slept with her.
Yeah, he just jizzed in his pants. Like, we had sex. Yeah, that's how that works.
I touched your boob and everything.
He's like, I slept with a woman into my bed with our clothes on.
I like to believe it was all just one big misunderstanding, like he just sort of gently undressed her and put her to bed, and he slept on the couch, and in the morning she just got the wrong idea and drove under a truck.
Yeah.
It's really a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, no, really, it's sweet when you think about it.
It really is, especially considering how every police officer is like, "You're a bad guy. I gotta beat the fuck out of you because who cares?"
Yeah, this is not the Henry Hathaway kiss of death, where the cops and feds have our best interests at heart. This is the post Rodney King, post Waco police and feds. So they're not quite shown in such a glowing light,
Yeah.
And Stanley Tucci is right. And Stanley Tucci is basically a cartoon villain.
The Tucci.
Yeah, it's like, what? You want my hand on it or something? I am oily. Hello. Didn't you see me in the other Cage movie? I'm bad, bad, bad.
I'm gonna eat your nuts.
Anyway. David Caruso can't see his kid and stuff, and like he is in jail a bunch of times, and then the Tucci's like, "Hey, I want you to get Nicolas Cage's character for me. I want you to like wear a wire and stuff." And then he gets out and wears a wire, and things kind of go haywire, sort of.
Yeah.
In a really boring sort of way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Donnie, did you ever see the 1947 version of this with Victor Mature and Richard Widmark?
Yeah, and they handled the story a lot better. It was a little bit of had a little bit touch of a Cape Fear to it, where it's like he rats out people first when he finds out his wife committed suicide, and once he does, he gets a new job, a new life, he's remarried, but then the people that he turned on come after him, and then he has to get back into that. So it's like that actually made a little more sense, because this thing just felt like, okay, you're going somewhere with Helen Hunt, and then she gets knocked off, and then it's like...
In the 47 one, you never even see his wife, too. I think Helen Hunt stuff is all just bulked up, because they're like, hey, we got the chick from Twister.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just really didn't go anywhere. It just kind of felt
in the original one.
Yeah.
They also like push a woman down the stairs in a wheelchair.
No, that's what's so fucking great about that's the whole reason I saw the 1947 Kiss of Death, is because it's Richard Widmark's screen debut, and he's playing this really great like James Cagney type heavy. And it's in that one, it's the police's idea to omit one person from the arrest to make it appear that somebody else had squealed. It's not David Caruso coming up on his own because he's a genius,
right.
You know. And so Widmark takes it out not on the person but on his mother. He ties her to her wheelchair and hurls her down the stairs.
Yeah.
But like all the motivations are different in the 47 one, you know. It does.
They are,
work
but
a
at
little
least
more
that
cleanly.
went somewhere and it was interesting. This just felt like they kind of lost steam midway through, and like, well, we got to do something with the rest.
Well, this one, it also like I kind of got the notion that they felt like they were making something bigger than what they were, because they try to build everything up more. In the 47 one, it opens on the crime that he goes to jail for. There's no preamble,
right?
And there's a narration explaining. It's like, some people are unlucky; they have to turn to crime. You know, it's like, let's not dick around. Like, this one's about, I think it's only like 2 or 3 minutes longer than the original. But it feels years longer at times.
God, yes. And we should explain that Nic Cage plays like a total fucking beefy dude.
Yeah, no, that's where most of the critics turn their attention to Cage and how he like transformed himself. You know, like,
I mean, that was really noticeable.
His veins are popping out, and he's acting like a kind of drugged out, like psycho. Wears jogging suits, listens to rap music type dude. Like
he's acting like someone that would go throwing fist with Vince Neil for hitting a girl. Who'd have thunk it?
And Vince Neil's like, "I'll show you all," and he does 3 8-balls and goes driving with the guy from from Hanoi Rocks. Oops, thought we forgot about that, didn't you, Vince Neil?
Prepare for this role. He actually ate 8 meals a day and a protein drink.
Wow.
Worked out for 2 hours a day, each day for 8 weeks.
Wow.
And his son Weston was asthmatic, and so he used him as an inspiration because his character, in case you don't ever see this movie, and you shouldn't, his character is not only very, very beefy, but also very asthmatic.
He has an engraved inhaler with his name on it.
Oh my god, I want that so bad.
And his dad is Philip Baker Hall, who later got more attention in those in the Paul Thomas Anderson movies. Philip Baker Hall is on a freaking respirator the whole time. He's on oxygen because he has like a more advanced version of it or something.
And you guys, I want to take this moment to remind you that my birthday's in a couple weeks, and I could really use that
birthday
cover for my inhaler.
My birthday's tomorrow.
Right. Do we have another birthday baby in the house?
It's my birthday.
Birthday baby.
I got all born.
I made you a terrible song.
Let's hear it.
I pre-recorded it because I have to, when I sing in the house, I have to protect myself against my cat.
Oh, the kitty wants to join in?
Dangerous. She wants to claw my face off.
And singing's like a guitar solo.
But in this recording, I am serving up some Julie Andrews realness. I am serving up some eardrum busting realness.
Oh my goodness.
I am drumming up some cat scream realness. It is.
Oh god. Yeah. Okay.
Hold on, I gotta get my oxycodone
realness. Here. Oh, pass me one of those. Come on now.
Sweet.
Selfish bastard.
Yeah, Donnie lost his gallbladder.
Oh, is it out?
Last week.
I remember you.
Are you haunted by the ghost of it?
Yes.
Like I am by my foreskin.
My butthole.
Speaking of buttholes, Kiss of Death, the 1995 version, sucked buttholes at the box office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Box Office Mojo again because I was curious. I'm always curious to see like when the weekend this came out, like what choice did people have? What better choices could they or did they make? So this movie cost somehow $40 million, which was still kind of a chunk of change in 1995.
Yeah.
Like not maybe for a balls out action movie, but for a crime drama movie, it's kind of a lot. I feel it brought in a whopping $14 million, so no profit there. So this was April 21st, 1995. It debuted at number 3. So we started off better than say Trapped in Paradise.
Right.
So it was the number 1 movie that weekend was While You Were Sleeping.
Oh, jeez.
I know, right? And number 2 was actually Bad Boys.
I didn't mind it.
Bad Boys, in its 3rd week.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, so that's what comes around there. Other movies that were also playing at the time and people were paying to see instead of this were Tommy Boy, Outbreak, and Jury Duty.
Jesus.
Oh,
all of which made more, even though none of those is really good, they all made more money than this.
Jury Duty was far better than this.
Well, yeah, no.
So was Tommy Boy.
Let me be clear. They're not good, but they are definitely all better than Kiss of Death.
Yeah.
Outbreak's really dumb,
I like
though.
Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
So
don't judge me.
This movie, you
don't know me.
I have been judging you for 15 years now.
Exactly.
sometimes through beer goggles. So our movie was directed by Barbette Schroeder, or maybe that's Barbet, I'm not sure.
I thought you were going to say Barbiturates, but yeah.
Barbiturates is what you'll need after watching a Schroeder movie. Schroeder's from Switzerland. So Schroeder did do a couple of good movies. Barbette Schroeder did Barfly with Mickey Rourke and Faye Dunaway, which is the Bukowski movie. And that one's pretty good. He also did Single White Female.
Oh,
which is okay. You know, it's not as good as its reputation. It's a little bit underdone.
Bridget Fonda back again.
Yeah. But then Barbette Schroeder went on to do stuff like Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock, which I saw in the theater, by the way. And
yeah, I agree.
It's a bad fucking movie. Also did Before and After with Liam Neeson, which is bad. And Desperate Measures with Andy Garcia and fucking Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton playing like an ominous movie psycho in a movie that is ridiculous but sometimes fun.
I do love me some Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
I love him. What kind of car do you drive? So you already mentioned Mr. Caruso. So like Captain Caruso's mandolin, and he was born in '56, and he left a promising career on NYPD Blue to do this movie specifically. This was supposed to start his lavish movie career. So the same year he did this, he also did William Friedkin's highly unfortunate Jade. Written by Joe Esterhaas, who wrote Showgirls and Basic Instinct. He followed Jade up with a movie called Cold Around the Heart, in which he plays a guy named Ned Tash, and Kelly Lynch plays a woman named Jude Law. I shit you not. Yeah. I know, right? Can you stand it?
Hold up now.
But everybody knows that later on, David Caruso became Horatio Kane. Yeah!
Akane?
How can both a man and girl share the same name?
It cannot be. David Caruso and Nicolas Cage had the same birthday, January 7th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, except, Caruso got squeezed out 9 years earlier. Yeah. He was in '95. He got a Golden Razzie nomination for this and for Jade for Worst New Star, but unfortunately, it was not to be. He lost to Elizabeth Berkley for Showgirls.
Aww.
And really, let's give the credit where it belongs. Like, she really deserves that Razzie.
All that being said, I'd rather have watched Showgirls than Kiss of Death this week.
Yeah. I
went to this place called Versace. I love brown rice and dog food.
Yeah, at least it has Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah,
it does. If only, you could put cardboard over parts of the screen and not see Elizabeth Berkley or hear her.
Yeah, that'd be fair. Well, so actually, when Schroeder was talking about Caruso with this film, he said, quote, I wanted him to say the dialogue exactly, but he didn't always see it that way. Maybe coming from TV, he wasn't used to respecting dialogue. To which Caruso responded with, quote, I believe the script is the blueprint for the movie, and the first take is the second draft of the script. End quote.
Wow.
Let's be real. This was not a great script.
At all.
This was written by Richard Price, by the way, who did Sea of Love with Al Pacino. And did Ransom. Give me back my son!
Tawanda.
The money!
Lieutenant Dan, give me my son.
Right. Richard Price did write one good movie that I found. He wrote Clockers for Spike Lee.
Oh.
Yeah, it's scientific, with the Delroy window. But unfortunately, Richard Price also wrote another less good Samuel L. Jackson movie. He wrote the 2000 version of Shaft.
Oh.
Yeah, which is
at least it wasn't
just
Deep Blue Sea.
Really bad. Yeah. Now, the people who wrote that made a Showtime series about themselves. Hopefully
As
they're
you do.
burning in hell now. This movie reunites two cast members from 1994's better and more successful Pulp Fiction. Because we got the Samuel L. Jackson, Andrew Sterling himself, and Ving Rhames. You may remember Marcellus Wallace is back in this, and both of them are very underutilized in this film, by the way.
They really are, sadly.
I think they're just there to say, like, hey, look, guys, remember these two? See, we got an ensemble cast, and it's about crime. See, you guys? It's good. It's just like Pulp Fiction, honest. It's like the same movie.
I'd like to think that it was really just a mercy, like, that they weren't in it very often. I mean, a mercy for them. Like, I know the movie's shit, but you guys don't have to be in it for too long.
Well, I mean, at the same time, too, it's like this was also Pulp Fiction was really when Sam Jackson became a huge thing. Because if not before, it's like they would have used him so much more when he was in Jurassic Park, too. But they didn't because he just wasn't really a big name person.
He had appeared in a lot of major films, but like he was like, he was a side player. Like he was never really the focus before Pulp Fiction.
But
like that was.
As we were saying before we started, too, I still like to think of this as a precursor to Con Air because you have Ving Rhames and you have Nic Cage side by side, and you still have a bunny prominent in this.
The bunny.
Yes. Bunny.
There's quite the epic cast on this one, which just makes it all the more unfortunate.
That's true.
It's like a 70s disaster movie. It's like, hey, that guy, he was really good in that other thing, and she was amazing in something else, and they were both all really, what are they all doing in this chunk of shit? Oh my God.
Well,
for example, Michael Rapaport.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, God.
Michael Rapaport, born 1970, who's been in much better movies like Spike Lee's Bamboozled, Woody Allen's Small Time Crooks, and frickin' True Romance by Tony Scott.
Yes. Yeah. Love True Romance. But did you guys notice that in the cemetery scene that he's like missing part of his ear?
Yeah, he's got a weird shaped ear, yeah.
Apparently somebody bit it off in a fight.
Oh my God. Oh, okay, so it didn't just come like that. Okay.
No, I had to look it up because I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, no, he and Tyson were roughhousing and then it just got out of hand. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. What the hell, man? Yeah. I got these sweet kicks now, you know how my feet are a half size different, I buy two pairs.
Took my ear, Charlie. But
I guess you hear me now.
Yeah, that's going to happen a lot. I'm sorry, listeners. Apparently, Cage's agent didn't want him to be in this movie. I mean, that's kind of become a theme. But
it's no boy in
anyway.
blue.
Oh, God, yeah. And now bear with me because this is a little long, but Cage said, quote, "My agent said you can't support David Caruso in a movie, but I really wanted to play the part, and I had to get back to wearing my black clothes. I thought, why not? David's a good actor, and I could support him." To me, it was like I was finally going to be able to get the stink off of me of the experience of Trapped in Paradise, and to and to blow out the state of schmaltz that I couldn't stand. I needed a change. I needed to get out of the sun. I was playing such do-good guys that I had to mix things up just to keep things interesting for myself. I needed to get back to the other kind of work that I like to do.
Wait, so he winds up in a Mickey Mouse crime picture where he's wearing white jogging suits under blazing sun.
I love the tracksuits.
This fucking movie. Oh, jeez.
Honestly, the thing I really loved about this more than anything was just the childlike innocence Ving Rhames had when he was watching him tear down a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, right?
He was just so happy. It's like Lenny being told about the rabbits. He just he
always, in every scene, he just kind of looks like he's wandered onto the set. It's like, hey, you guys, do you know there's a movie around here? I don't want that Explorer though. It's red. That's my bad luck color. What do I look like? Some kind of interior decorator?
It made me think of Cage's character in the boy in blue, when he's like looking at the what is
when
it,
he's waving
Calypso
the
music
little
and
American flag and go like,
Yeah.
stupid fool.
It's just gonna stay with us forever.
America, yay! I have maple syrup in my veins, but yay! I'd like to mention again the god-awful musical score, which is one of the real low points of this piece of shit.
Highly low.
Trevor Jones, he did a couple other movies in 1995, which were better. He scored the Ian McKellen Richard III and Dean Koontz's Hideaway with the Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Oh.
And did some really random shit like Notting Hill and Excalibur.
Jeez! Wow!
It's kind of
shocking.
It is shocking just because like the music of this thing is just like so masturbatory, and it's like the bit at the end, and it's like I bested you with a mini tape recorder, ha ha. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Stanley Tucci's like, what? I've been undone! Damn you! And this heroic music comes up as he walks past the hot dog stand. Samuel L. Jackson giving this thumbs up, and then he just gets into into the van with the wife and kid. And you're like, bye movie.
Which is still, I want to point out, the Explorer that was red that was stolen. So he left in a stolen car.
They should have made it like MASH. They should have been like, hey, did Hawkeye steal that Jeep? No, sir, it's the one he came in.
Vietnam trauma.
So another thing. Okay, we agree that Jones is somewhat more distinguished than his score. Speaking of another person on this movie who's a little bit more distinguished than the work he did on this one. This movie was shot by Luciano Tovoli. Luciano Tovoli had been working for a long time, actually. I think this is like his fourth decade of filmmaking. And he wasn't just anybody. He shot movies for Antonioni and Argento.
Oh,
this
that's
is
why
the
he sounds
guy
so familiar.
who shot The Passenger for Antonioni, which is amazing. And he fucking shot the original Suspiria in 77, and Tenebrae.
Which I just watched. The boys made an awesome suggestion. I had a little Argento fest this week.
Damn right!
I freaking love Phenomena, by the way. It's one of my favorite movies of all time now. Oh my god.
Shit at the end is just so nuts. I love it.
Oh, I love it. And I want the soundtrack so bad.
It is amazing. Which you can get the soundtrack from Waxworks Records, I believe.
And the Iron Maiden track on that one, I think is
yes.
Yeah, which one was that one?
And it had Jennifer Connelly.
And Donald Pleasence. I watched him for 20 years.
Something else great we could have watched instead of this.
Hey, speaking of great movies we could have watched, this movie has a lot in common with a certain 1950s classic. So you may notice that in this movie, they go to the hot dog stand a lot, and at the hot dog stand, it's always daytime. And they go to the strip club a lot, but at the strip club, it's always nighttime.
Yes.
Kind of like the graveyard in Plan 9 from Outer Space. Coincidence? Read the book.
I wondered why Nicolas Cage was often hiding half his face through this movie.
That's right, it's not even him. He hurls the guy out of the truck and the whole truck moves. It's just something he has to deal with.
Yes! That's awesome.
I laughed so hard at that.
Oh, God. Oh, okay. So we all clearly have some notes about this one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He said that when he was talking about playing the character Little Junior Brown, he said
That's
that,
adorable.
quote, I was trying to be more truthful, not thinking so much, oh, this will be shocking. But I realized on Kiss of Death that by the end of the day, I was nauseous with it. Threatening one guy with a cigarette or punching somebody to death, I just thought, I don't want to go there anymore. I didn't want to go to that shitty little corner of my mind where I could actually see myself contemplating this behavior.
And yet he was jumping up and down after his father dies.
My dad died! What the hell's the matter with you? My father is dead!
He's got this like jump up and down dance thing going on while he's crying. It's beautiful.
With all these elements, this thing should have been so fun. It should have been such a delight, and it's just not. It's like let's take all the things that people are looking to see in the movie and then add buckets of Thorazine.
Yeah.
I feel like the only good moments were because of his acting and, you know, like, I mean, I don't know, like it was, I'm not saying that like he was the only good actor there, but I mean,
well, we all largely regard Caruso as ridiculous, largely because his film career went so horribly wrong, and because CSI Miami is just a turd.
Right.
But if you watch that first season of NYPD Blue with him and Dennis Franz, like it is really good. I was actually stunned by how well it actually came off for me, and because
I well off each other.
I'm so jaded with most television, but like the way his character is, the way he handles his character in that one, it's like he's actually likable.
Yeah. He just made such a horrible mistake.
Yeah,
like wanting to pursue a career in film.
Yeah, maybe he should have stuck with that show.
Yeah, he pulled a Tasha Yar when he should have stayed with the show.
Yeah. But she was in Pet Sematary.
Oh, she was in that movie The Eliminators with the Manborg.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a real classic right
it's
there.
It's okay, they can bring me back. It's sci-fi. I'll just come back as 3 different people.
Right? Yeah, it's like, well, next gen's run too long. They run out of ideas. I guess we'll just bring back some Tasha Yar. Oh, like Spock showed up again. You know, he's 900 years old. It's fine. Okay. So I had the movie running in the background again here. It's at the part where they all have the raincoats on and they're beating Michael Rapaport to death.
Oh yeah,
I love
that.
Yeah, so it's like, oh man, I just bought the CD player. You know, he's getting blood splattered all over the CD player. You know, so in this movie, there are many oddly over dramatized moments, including at the beginning, right after Michael Rapaport has convinced David Caruso to come drive the truck and do the thing that ultimately gets him sent back to jail. There's all these shots of like the trucks full of cars driving through New York there. And there's this one part where they're all driving past this bar and there's these guys standing out front of this bar and they're like looking meaningfully at it. And it's like, who are they? They're never in the movie again. What is the point of this?
I fucking loved so much the guy with the serious look on his face
I know,
while he's swirling his wine in a glass.
It's another one of these. By God, help us all. How black life is. And I went through it a couple of times, and even when I first saw it, like when I first saw this, like back in the 90s, like with my brother, it's like I always found that really distracting. Like, who the fuck is that? What is that? What? There's no other people shown like as it's going by. There's like people in
they
silhouette.
just linger on him for a long time.
It's like, is he the producer or something? Why is he in here?
Yeah.
But I was thinking like, well, if this part is so important to them to like illuminate the city or whatever the fucking shit, then remove those fuck awful opening titles you have where everything's just sunny and happy. Just run the titles over that. Make it like the Andrew Davis version of The Fugitive from '93. You know, like and have the extended title sequence. You know, there's never night scenes in this thing where there need to be.
No, and it just shifts so.
It's really weird too. This is a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes, and critics are like, it's so atmospheric. It's like, but it just isn't. It really just isn't. It's got about as much atmosphere as the average Hallmark movie.
Yeah. And that oh god, you mean all white?
But
like that reminds me that there was the scene that shows his house, and it's the same exact house that they used for filming for the original.
I thought they just used the same street. Was that the same house as well from the 1947 Kiss of Death?
Yeah, I think I read that it was the house. I could be wrong.
You know, this is really,
maybe you're right. Maybe
this
it's
is
just
really
street,
diminishing returns, because instead of Victor Mature, we get David Caruso, and Victor Mature had 2 kids. David Caruso only has the 1.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that 2 little girls is twice as cute. Daddy, I'm going to throw myself in front of a car for no good reason, because look it.
Yeah.
You're going to end up like your mother.
Your mother, 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 mother. He should have just kept having flashbacks of Helen Hunt just getting crushed under the truck over and over again. You know?
That was one of those scenes where I know you're not supposed to, but I couldn't help but laugh.
Jimmy!
So it's like,
Well,
Jimmy!
it's kind of like Meet Joe Black, when he gets
Yes!
dropped around like
She's
a
all like,
pinball
oh man,
between the-
I am full of freaking
remember
Rohypnol. I am going to go driving.
Donnie and I kept like rewinding
we kept
and
fast
playing
forwarding and
that
rewinding
scene.
that part. It's like ping pong.
Oh yeah, no. Meet Joe Black, you wear the tape out. There's no way not to.
Well, it's also a fun movie to watch because Anthony Hopkins coming off the popularity of Silence of the Lambs and having him sit at dinner saying, "Let's dig in."
And then Claire Forlani just kind of went off into obscurity.
Yeah.
Womp, 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 womp.
Anywho, when he was talking about little Junior Brown, Cage in an interview said that he's unafraid of death for himself. And a man who's not afraid to die can do anything. And that makes him very scary and a very powerful human being.
Wow. How much
Yes.
cocaine did he do?
A lot.
That suit was black
Approximately
originally.
8 kilos a day. For every day for 8 weeks.
Here's
He's not afraid of killing his career either. He just up and blows a hole in Ving Rhames' head at one point, you know. And then David Cruz says, "What did you do? What did you do?
What did you do?
Oh my God. What did you do?
Oh, my God.
What did I do? You fuck with the bull, you get the horns. That's what I did. I got
Was he
an
really
acronym.
quoting Breakfast Club?
Yeah, that's what I was
Maureen really pumps my nad. And then I taped his butt together, and he's gonna have to tell his dad about how his butt cheeks got taped together. The same thing happened to me.
And on that note, maybe this is the time where we take a little breaky for
You mean you haven't been
a
drinking
little
the whole
promo.
time? My God, how can you talk about this movie sober? Caruso says, like, to Samuel L. Jackson, says, like, maybe if you give me a beating again, maybe next time it won't be such a one-way beating. And I'm thinking, like, one-way beating. The only way Caruso can get off.
You know, I'm actually curious, did they actually intend to kill that guy with his beating, or did Cage just kind of roid rage?
A little
he shook a truck by throwing a man at it.
that was lovely, by the way. It's all in one shot. It's a great stunt. He hurls him at the tire. He hurls him like 10 feet.
That was seriously a good stunt. I was just laughing. I was like, holy
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way too good to be in this movie.
yeah.
I was thinking, like, oh, that poor guy, is he okay?
I'm pretty sure that and like Helen Hunt's death and the part where they blow up the junker car, these scenes were all thrown in at the insistence of a studio so that they have something of substance to put in a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you
that
can't
makes
make a
sense.
trailer from this movie because it is Blandsville. This is pudding. This is just. Ugh. There's no other reason in the film really for the car explosion either. It's like, okay, let's drive away now that we've burned that car that we've switched the VIN number with. It's like, hold on, I want to sit here and watch it, for I am like a child. I like to watch explosions.
It was the kid in him.
Yeah. And so we get one shot of like kind of a crummy fireball, and it's like, okay, we could drive away now. It's like, why do we sit here and watch that? Yeah, there's no cops coming or anything. It's like, it doesn't matter one way or the other. I know, but you know, it's a trailer.
So
There are no
speaking of, what are we
consequences.
going to be pushing in here?
Oh, we're really going to put a thing in sideways and break it off?
You said you're going to break off something decent.
You don't understand. You've never seen it pass up this house and go straight for yours. My God, Joe, is that what you think it did?
And now a word from a good podcast.
Hey, what's a good podcast sound like, Linda?
Well, let me tell you.
Like shoving your fist in a mayonnaise jar.
What?
Continue.
Oh, I'm sorry, listener. I didn't see you there.
Who let you in?
What are you doing in my house?
Wait, don't point that thing at me! Ah!
Now, I want you to listen to the words.
What did the words say?
This is Brandy Fleeks. And this is Sunny Hepburn. And we're from Book of Lies Podcast. So you can listen to us every Tuesday on all of your podcast platforms.
Can be found on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts.
Listen to us, okay? We talk about fraud. We talk about we talk about con artists. We talk about how they're going to steal your money.
How they're gonna steal your
How they will get your money if you don't listen to us.
They'll get your money, they'll get your life, they'll get your vagina, your penis.
So take it all. So listen to us so we can teach you how not to get duped, okay? Thanks.
It's a classic. So when he was talking about this, Cage also said that he didn't think that little Junior Brown was evil. He said, quote, "I think he's much like a lion raised in the jungle. He's trained to be that way. He's doing what he feels he has to do to survive in the jungle and with the tools that his father has given him, which apparently includes bench pressing a stripper."
Hey, he went to 40.
He does bench press a stripper, and he says, "What have you been eating?" And she's like, "Shut up, faggot."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Cage movies with the F word.
Honestly, he was really right, though. His character, up until the whole second part in killing people, he actually did show morals. Him and his dad, they were looking out for him.
That's the reason he throws freaking Michael Rapaport out of the club, is because he knows that he roofied Helen Hunt, and he's like, "Take her to her house," and he's like, "What? To my house for date rape? Okay."
Yeah. Yeah, well, his dad, little Junior Brown's dad,
Big Junior Brown,
Big Brown,
not joking. They call him Big Junior.
He actually said, like he was making sure that she was set up. He was saying like, make sure, like, are you paying her the money? And he says, yeah, I'm giving her the $400 a week, which she wasn't doing. And he said, good, make sure she also has a car. And, I think there was something else there.
He must have had wax in his ears and heard, "What? Car? My penis? All right."
Yeah.
Cock? Got it. Okie dokie. And then little Junior Brown comes and says, like, my dad says he wants you out. He wants you to take her home, or take her home. To her home.
Fuck face.
Yeah. So, I mean, little Junior Brown and his dad are like the only decent people in the beginning of the movie.
They're not bad. They're just drawn that way.
Oh, God damn it. Adrian would, if he could.
Best Brad Pitt movie ever.
God damn right.
Wait, that's what this movie needed. It needed to be a Ralph Bakshi movie.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is like a cartoon dog or something, and like somebody pulls him out of frame by his penis, which stretches, and then Caruso's mom is like, "I died the day I married a Goyd." And then Scatman Crothers sings the theme song. "Oh man, I got your face off right here."
Right, y'all. Well, apparently it's at this time when he was filming, he actually split with Christina Fulton, his baby mama, baby mama of Weston. And he was living with the model Kristen Zhang while filming, but just before the movie was released, Patricia Arquette proposed and they got married.
And he's like, "Yay. Bye, Kristen Zhang. Bye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you." You're
throwing me out. If you don't know.
Nobody does this to Kristen Zhang. I would destroy you.
Well, we'll actually be getting more into that next week because I guess it was the pain from breaking up with Zhang that informed his character for the next movie.
Hooray!
Yay, the next movie.
Hooray!
Looking forward to
Next
that
movie.
one. And you know that whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Whatever
like
don't.
I
have somehow never heard that before.
You're some kind of wise man.
Teach me, Senpai.
I guess we should mention that that he came up with an acronym for himself as a sort of mantra.
All about it, yeah.
It was bad. Balls,
Attitude.
Balls, attitude, direction.
Yes, and it's what's on his inhaler.
That's what's on it. He bedazzled his inhaler.
He did. Yeah, no, he got some easy to do kit there, you know.
So I asked some of our friends on Twitter if they had any personal acronyms. Mine is CHUD, compassion, humor, understanding, and dogs. Or maybe cunt, cageness, uniqueness, or understanding, nachos, and tacos.
Yeah.
But the Things I Found Online podcast said pursue DGAF, dreams, goals, and fleeting moments of pure joy. Ooh. Also, TIFO, Things I Found Online. Thank you so much. Killer Fun with Christy and Jackie said DDC, don't do crime. We don't want to cover your documentary on our podcast. Fair enough.
But I was going to go do some crimes.
Crimes. And then Catching Up on Cinema said SSDD, taken from Stephen King's Dreamcatcher.
Yeah. Same
shit, different day. Thank you so much, you guys, for contributing.
Dreamcatcher.
You have a problem with butt monsters?
Just leave the toothpick. Good God, it's on the fecal covered floor, you sick fuck.
Shout out to Jason Lee.
Yeah, I take calls on my gun, too.
So, did you guys have any other notes on the movie?
Oh,
I did, but a couple of policemen beat the fuck out of me and took them away. I didn't even do anything. I was jaywalking.
The whole bit where they try to hero up the hero some more with like him playing the cops to his tune, and then
yeah.
And then trying to get justice by wearing a wire that's just a mini tape recorder. It's like, this is the most sophisticated shit they have. It's like, you can't have a van in the alley with some radio frequency shit. You have a literal fucking mini tape recorder. Then Cage beats the shit out of him and the mini tape survives.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It's like, and then at the end, Stanley Tucci's like, nah, I still don't feel like prosecuting. I'm the villain, remember? Hey, I'm Stanley Tucci. And
I
David
became
Caruso
a
was like,
judge.
how would you like this other tape where I recorded you saying stuff? Hey, you can't use that? No fair. And it's like,
son of a bitch.
So the shit where they miraculously like wear a wire and get an entire confession, that's like every made-for-TV amateur detective piece of shit movie ever, by the way.
Yeah, true. I'm pretty sure it happened on Small Wonder and Encyclopedia Brown at one point or another.
It also happened on Master Ninja. Do you remember that one where they tie up the evil tin horn sheriff and they get his CB radio to the DA? It's like, oh, see that? A full confession. With the master around, you can do it every night.
One thing I didn't understand was why Sam Jackson's character was so pissed off at David Caruso's character.
You stopped the bullet that went into my face.
Constantly have like moisturized skin because of crying all the time, and yeah, that's why he doesn't want soft skin.
Okay, but let's peel it back. Let's peel it back a little bit though. Okay, so it seems like the cops are being really shitty and unfair. However, Nicolas Cage hurled that drunk out of the truck, out of the cab, and Michael Rapaport's like, let's leave him here. And David Caruso's like, oh, let's take him along for fun. It's like, you brought a drunk asshole who just had a beating with a gun along with you, and you're surprised that it didn't go well.
Yeah, he was saying that like we can't leave him here
like,
in this town. He'll get his throat slit
instead of shot 100 times.
Yeah,
it's
worked
like
out really well.
Gee there, Jimmy. Poor decision much.
But like Samuel Jackson's character really fucking hates David Caruso's character because his life is all fucked up because he got a bullet in the face. But David Caruso wasn't the one who shot him. He actually put his hand there to block the bullet.
But they figure he was complicit in that. Yeah. Well, if it had been Texas, they would have just shot him too. You know?
Yeah.
Then they would have given his dead body the chair.
Yeah.
Nick Fury had every right to be mad at him for it, but.
Okay.
Now he has to wear an eye patch.
Speaking of awful, stupid scenes in this movie, there's the part where the drunk guy gets handsy at the strip club, and then you have the supposedly intense moment where Cage is like, David Caruso, light up one of those cigarettes. I'm implying I may burn this man's hand with it. And the music comes up, and then he just makes the guy strip on stage.
Yeah.
And it's like oh, he oh, see that, everybody? He got his comeuppance, giggle. It's like,
but he did get his moment later on when he got to kick the gun.
I know. Why was he even back there? It's like, and
because
also the part where he thinks his hand's going to get burned, and there's a shot, the close up of him sweating, being like, please. And it's like, wait, why does he look all eerie now? What's going on here?
It was done better off in Training Day when they actually had somebody that needed their comeuppance and other people like, hey, you pushed me around. I'm actually going to get you back now because I'm empowered.
I'm just thinking of another movie from 1995 that people could have seen instead of this. A little movie called Casino.
Sergeant Payne?
Because Cage is like, I was like, which hand did you grab her with? And I'm thinking of Robert De Niro going like, which hand do you do chips with? The left hand? No, it was the right hand? Right hand? All right. And then they break the man's hand. They break his fucking hand with a hammer. And then later, Joe Pesci crushes a man's head in a vice and makes his eyeball pop out of his head. Charlie M, you make me pop your fucking eye out of your head for that piece of shit. Murray, do him a fucking favor.
Oh, God.
Those movies were the same year. They had the same rating. They might even have the same budget. But what do you want to see? Casino.
Possibly.
Nobody's going to... Nobody paid to see Kiss of Death.
No.
Everybody just sneaked in.
With that, do you guys feel like we're ready for Face Off?
I hope so. I want to hear what Adrian's got.
Well, okay. I honestly think that this movie's biggest problem was its misguided attempts at being highbrow.
Yeah.
Now, while it does remind me in some ways of other highbrow movies like the 1947 original and like Sidney Lumet's Prince of the City, I actually think that they needed to go a little bit more straight to video, a little bit different direction. So I think that for David Caruso, you would do Gary Daniels, the martial arts master, and I think for Cage, you'd actually do Michael Wincott from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and The Crow. You know, because he's got that voice. You know.
Oh yeah.
Because he has a presence. He's a very he's a good screen heavy. You know, and there's all kinds of interchangeable people that you could do for the feds and stuff. You know. But it's mostly them that I've got considered. You know, make it into an Albert Pyun movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you,
Linda?
Donnie.
Oh, okay, I'm saving mine for last.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. Save the best. Well, you can't replace Samuel L. Jackson or Ving Rhames. They're some of the few good people in this movie, and I'd argue that you can't replace Nic Cage in this movie either, because they're the ones who actually make it fucking watchable.
Well, if you replace the director, that would save us all some grief.
Yeah,
fair enough. Nobody replaces Helen Hunt. But
except
I would
Laura
put
Linney.
Laura Dern. I would put Laura Dern as her sister, Rosie, and Steve Zahn as cousin Ronnie because
that would make sense. You know, if it could be me in there, you know. Yeah.
And Keanu Reeves as Jimmy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, if this had been a Catherine Bigelow movie, man, everything would have been fixed.
So Donnie, Donwald.
Well, for Jimmy, let's go with Chris Pratt. And for Frank Zioli, Robert Redford. For Ronnie, why not Eminem? Because that would be a fun cameo.
You know,
Omar,
it's funny that you should mention Eminem, because I was thinking, like, well, wait a minute, there's that beating scene, and all of a sudden it's playing House of Pain. It's like, oh my God, this is an abstracted, dramatic version, preemptively, of the feud between Marshall Mathers and Whitey Ford.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Now, for Omar, I'm going to cast Sam Jackson. For Bev, we're going Kim Basinger. But my favorite of all this is in Little Junior would be, now you have to stick with me, Tony Shalhoub. As his father would be Bruce Dern.
Jesus Christ, you're a madman.
Like, look, Dad, I'm doing 40. Like, who cares?
I'm just going to remind the audience, all 5 of you, that Donnie's on painkillers this week.
So there's the part where I think Caruso's just got out of jail and he's hanging out with his daughter and the babysitter lady. And he's like, oh, yeah, we should kick something over to your parents for being so helpful. And she's like, yeah, and you got me. He's like, what do you mean I got you? It's like, you got me.
Huh?
I've just volunteered my twat. How do you feel about this?
Yeah,
like, I don't know. Kind of leaves me cold.
I don't know if you guys did, but I laughed hysterically when I saw she was reading child psychology books. I'm like, well, you're getting ahead of the curve.
I feel like she was the mastermind behind the whole thing. There should have been a slow zoom in on her with her eyes being shifty.
Oh
and
my
some
God,
creepy music.
yes.
Being like, just as I planned from the beginning.
But you know, I felt like the original was the same way too. It's just all of a sudden the sister's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you now. Like,
Well, somebody had to get on
me.
that D. It can't just leave it cold.
Yeah.
I'm the father. I'm the father.
So in this movie, our protagonist's big plan to ensnare the villain is just to get him to give him a beating while he has a tape recorder and gets him to do a confession. And Sam Jackson just kind of arrests him, and it's really anticlimactic. And in the original, Victor Mature gets fucking Richard Widmark to put bullets in him before witnesses and police. Which one of those is cooler? It's like, what's the matter, Tommy? You getting other people to do your dirty work for you? Give me that gun. So if you guys who saw Home Alone and Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, there's the black and white movies that Kevin's always watching that he's not supposed to be. That's the kind of noir that Kiss of Death is.
It
basically.
really was.
Exactly. Yeah.
AC said 10%.
I mean, you're expecting a good movie. But, and I think
so
that's
you
where
can,
you're going wrong.
Kiss of Death, Prince of the City, Alien from L.A., Waterworld.
Pink Flamingos. No, it is a classic. Did you guys find any wisdom, any cagey wisdom?
Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
When your cousin knocks on the door, just do what I do and pretend not to be home.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Jimmy, they're gonna kill me. Jimmy. You know, I think that's kind of similar to Roy Scheider in the 7-Ups, like the sort of unofficial French Connection sequel, where there's the confidential informant who's playing both sides. And Roy Scheider figures out that he set them up. So at the end of the movie, he's like, "You got to protect me." He's like, "No, I'm going to let him have you." And the guy's pleading for his life, and the end credits run. That was more satisfying. You know? Whereas like Rapaport, the whole thing's his fault, and he's just out of the movie like about 30 minutes in.
Yeah,
I think it's such shitty pacing.
But to that extent, I would say that the cagey wisdom that I found is that if you are involved with any criminal activity, any like mafia activity, When these bad guys that you're afraid of show up at your work, want you to go to a room where there's nobody else, they're pulling the blinds, and they're all wearing ponchos, you probably don't want to go in that room.
You guys look like Gordon Fisherman. Huh? The base is too high. I instructed you to focus on the voids. Yeah,
even Joe Pesci in Goodfellas knew what was coming when he got led into that room.
He gets him up there. It's like, wait, there's nobody up in here. Oh no! Bam. He wasn't dumb.
But Michael Rapaport's character is just like, I don't care for this music you're making me listen to.
You got an NWA? Yeah.
You know what your problem is? You're a liberal.
I got $400 shoes.
Ronnie, I don't give a fuck about your shoes. Get me home in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, I guess this is the time where I say please listen, follow, rate, and review Cage's Kiss on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Podcoin, and YouTube. We just got in on TuneIn, so huzzah.
TuneIn?
If you don't... if you don't have a Podcoin account, be sure to use the code Cage's Kiss, all one word, to get extra points for you and for us. I'd also like to give a shout out to Gizzard410. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. For giving us an awesome review on iTunes. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Do y'all have any plugs? Let's start with you, birthday boy.
With me?
With you.
Oh, usual. Leo the Fox on DeviantArt.com. I've been pretty frequently jamming arts all up in that hole. Recently. Yeah, you can get them crammed all up in there. If you
have any
YouTube,
commissions.
But if you don't watch it, you should be looking at it. Commissions? Yeah, fucking commission me, goddammit. Son of a bitch.
He does art and shit.
You got the money, and you might get a picture. See what happens. Play your cards right. Yeah. So cough up. This place don't pay for itself.
That's right.
Donnie?
Well, I'm still the boy who blew on PornTube, and I'm also Unreal Goals on Twitter. And Tony Schlub, hit us up. I want to talk more about you playing Little Junior in the remake.
And I might have been really wasted last week when I said it, but I say it again. It's like bring your shit on. You want us to watch some shit, and we'll goddamn watch it. We're not afraid.
Yeah.
Don't go thinking that we're afraid, because we are not.
We are opposite of afraid.
Yeah.
We've seen shit.
We've seen some shit, man.
There's no turning back.
Right?
You can't unsee
we're
the
already
shit we've
stuck up
seen.
the rabbit's asshole. There's no saving us.
Remember, you can find Cage's Kiss on Facebook and on Twitter at Cage's Kiss. You can visit our website at cageskiss.com, and you can write to us at cageskiss@gmail.com. You guys got anything left? Because
the taste of metal in my mouth.
I've got about 20 more oxycodone pills here, so
nice.
We can all take it nice and easy.
I'll be right over.
That sounds like a good day.
We will be seeing y'all next week with Leaving Las Vegas.
Ooh.
But do we ever really leave Las Vegas?
We died while watching Honeymoon in
You're
Vegas.
Oxyhead.
This is our death dream.
Tomorrow, fuck the cars. Just come by the bar.
We'll talk about
have
life
a conversation about life and shit.
Yeah.
State or federal? Both. Federal. Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season.
Gummy bears, sprinkles.
Flying here and there and everywhere.
No stagger, just haul ass.
Kiss of death, kiss of death. It sucks. It ain't that good now. Kiss of death.
No, Gene Simmons will sue us.
No.
He's for real serious about that.
It ain't that good now.
Cage. Peach. I could eat a peach for hours. Please.